they won't look at you. We've known Will since we first came to the island, and I was completely intimidated. He was so calm and so talented. I was totally threatened. but it wasn't until he was so gentle. One time when he was working with our senior teen class doing a drum, and I'm trying to participate. I'm going around, and at one point he very gently said, "Paul, could you just wait a minute?" It was pretty clear that he just wanted me to stop and not try. But our deepest appreciation, and he said to us yesterday, I feel him all around. And when we worked out here, we did so much with him and with you. And Lisa was saying as we walked around yesterday, the presence that we see.
Thanks. We Will got off the boat, and Paul it too, but especially Will, because sometimes he came out without you. It was a moment of rejoicing for all of us. We never knew whether it would be him teaching the carp shop how to make those beautiful wash stands, or teaching us how to make really good benches, because in those days all the benches were falling apart and you couldn't stand it. Whether it was, building with really pounds, that beautiful freestanding wall, and then playing that note so we could dance in the underworld. Oh, and don't forget.
That project, I think, building the stone wall was one of the most wonderful, because every night after work, there'd be 30, 40 fellows out there working with him. And then, of course, the culminating piece was in his workshop in the winter. He built the turnstile.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also brought storytellers and music makers and himself. It is for us glorious memories.
Yes.
So Will and Paula were the first Star people that I met, came to our wedding. But I hadn't been to Star yet, so I didn't know what it was, like who you were, who you would become to us. And there's so many stories about Will that I've been sitting here thinking, I can't even really pick one. But I'm going to pick one. He was so amazing to our boys, taught them so many things. Sam, working with him in his shop for hours as a little kid, and teaching him music, teaching me how to fire a gun for the first time. And I really liked it.
Let that be a warning.
But the thing to me that sort of epitomized Will was we were visiting you guys once, and we went into Brattleboro for a farmer's market or some thing that was happening in the summer, some outdoor thing. The boys were pretty little, like maybe 3 and 5, and they had on brand new sneakers. And Will took them off somewhere to run around and came back, and one of the boys' sneakers was completely spray painted gold, and the other silver. And of course, I was like mildly pissed. They were brand new, but they were thrilled, and he was thrilled for himself. And it was just a great lesson on you just roll with it with love. And I love those sneakers. And I wore them to death, and that's just one of many, many, many special, and we'll continue to talk about.
Will was such a special person. He took everything he did and thought and made to a higher level. His banjos, for example, were like put together like fine watches. He once made a clock. Somebody here probably owns that clock. that he had hand-produced in his workshop. It's just a work of art and skill. And I shall never forget the first time that drumming appeared in this room, right in that corner, with Will and Paula and Ellen probably, and maybe somebody else. And it was just so overwhelming that it left an indelible mark on me. And thank you for that, Will and Paula. Thank you, Will, for just being the friend and the person you were. Thank you.
Will was a friend. And I'm honored to say that he was. And is. Everybody thinks I'm some crazy artist, free spirit, whatever.
Yeah.
Will was creative. He was the epitome of a free spirit. And I aspired to be that. And every time I saw Will, and yes, I was intimidated as well. But with his heart, whenever we saw him, he was always open to everything and everyone. And I love him.
Will was magic. He was mysterious, calm, warm. I only made it through one verse of "Don't Throw Your Muck in My Backyard." I was brought back to Florence, where Will came to our children's groups with his banjo. I think Rattling Bog was the first song. And he worked his way through it with us and let me hold it. And that's my first memory of holding an instrument. And amazed at the sounds and whatnot. But Will never taught me anything. He just showed me how to do everything. The calmness in his voice, his demeanor, his touch, were in complete contrast to everything going on inside of me as a younger person. I hadn't thought about any of that until "Don't Throw Your Muck in My Backyard." He was a father figure to me. I remember his presence. And I'm glad to see you, Tashina.
Will was definitely a brother. One of my favorite times were coming up to lessons with him and knowing that someday eventually we'd be sitting there, some ill-conceived adventure might be sitting there. But he made me be more honest with myself because he had this relentless questioning of the conventional wisdom. He challenged us all to that, whether the wisdom be the wisdom of wearing all your clothes, or I was sitting my 7-year-old down in front of a wood lathe and saying, "Go to it, make this candlestick." It was he made the conversations were always challenging. Well, like I said, the conventional wisdom of governance and things like that, and it really, you had to be on your toes, and then there was the raunchy side, which playing, the card games with 15 names and things like that. The freedom of his spirit came through, and the sweetness. It's there. It lives in all of us.
So I have two little things I want to say. I have a lot, but I decided I would do more closer to recent. When I was first diagnosed with cancer, I didn't call Will and Paula right away because I really didn't know what to say. And then I got a spiritual guide, healer person. And I was like, wow, this is weird. And the first meditation session I had, I imagined, and I can still get the feeling back, that I was a tree. And I came home and was like, oh my God, Dave, I was a flipping tree. And I said, I gotta call Will and Paula, because they will totally get this. Which I did. And I called them. First we go through the whole, shoot, you have cancer. And flipping, that's hard, and we were kind of going back and forth. And then I said, and guys, guess what? I've always found y'all so fascinating because y'all like hippies and y'all, y'all bring your own maple syrup to the table. And, being a Southerner, I've never been around people that were like, this is the way we are, man. I was like, and I said, and I've just always been fascinated with you, and now I feel like I'm on your side. and Will was so quick. He said, man, we have always been fascinated with you. I said, oh, this is so cool. So we had this great relationship the last year, and that was just unbelievable, the sharing that went on. And then after he passed, I was making the boys some roosters. Stuffed roosters, and I decided, I need to make a banjo. I don't know anything about music, but I was in my craft room, and I was making the banjo, and I was trying to get it as accurate as possible. I did the little inlaid rooster, and I couldn't figure out what to do with the top for the little, I don't know what they're called, the little pegs, yeah. And I was like, oh, and I'm looking through my studio, and I said, Will you help me find whatever these damn things are at the top? I don't have anything. And I told Paula, I had a little jar of golden nails that were tiny. Like this big. They were maybe 1/4 of an inch. And I stood there and I was like, oh, thanks, Will. And I put those in and used them on the little banjo. And I was like, oh my God. And I just started crying. I came upstairs and told Dave. I said, he just helped me make these banjos because I don't know, he knew I did. He was like, oh my God, you're not supposed to do it. So he helped me. But there's lots of stories, and we truly miss, but I feel his presence. I really do. I feel his humor and his knowledge and his, Suzanne, question that. I'm like, oh yeah, I should question that. So I love him. I'm glad to know him.
So I send blessings from Germany. My sister-in-law is one of the pals that work on the wall with Bill. And the other really quick thing I want to say is I feel like I really got to know all of you at the margarita party. And whenever people of age are on the island or off the island and you're having a margarita, I hope you think as well.